Hi, I'm Danny.
And I'm Si. Welcome to Business in a Brew, a podcast dedicated to all things business with the occasional cuppa.
We take a business story, theory, or something we just want to chat about and give it a dusting of our own special personality and sense of humour, combined with our experience and knowledge. We're both business graduates and have run our own businesses for many years. We can't wait for you to listen. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Well, that'll be good morning when people listen to this, but never mind.
Mm-hmm.
They might listen to it after, they might listen to it at night time.
They don't necessarily know whether we did record it morning or afternoon.
We could be fooling them, it could actually be midnight. we do it overnight like vampires. Right. Do you know, I know the answer to this question, but do you know who WeWork are?
I actually don't.
And they're not what they thought you were when we first said the word WeWork.
It's not WeWork, it's WeWork. Well,
no, it's two words. It's got two capital letters in it, but it's one word.
All right.
WeWork.
Right.
We work. Anyway. So,
I can't wait to hear this.
It was created in 2010 by...
So this isn't a horror story?
Well, I don't... Well, we'll see. We'll go through it, and then you can tell me afterwards what category it fits into. It's like when they categorise things on Netflix and they call them things like emotional and outpouring. Yeah. 2010, in New York City, founded by Adam Neumann and Miguel McKelvey. So the concept was about reimagining office. Good Lord, it's been a long day. Reimagine office spaces as community hubs for entrepreneurs and startups. So they're about creating these open spaces where sole traders, small businesses could kind of hang out and build this community and have somewhere to work. So it's not completely new, but it was a company set up very specifically.
Very common thing now.
Yes, not so much in 2010. By 2019, so 9 years later, they operated in over 100 cities across 29 countries.
Okay, right.
The valuation soared $47 billion with very significant investment from firms. So it was in London, it was in multiple locations in London, which was catering to the UK's growing freelance and startup culture. Because at the time, that was the start of it. And it was seen as revolutionary at the time and redefining the way workspaces worked. So you could keep the flexibility of a workspace, but have that community that goes with it. It's about cremating. Now I've done it. Fine. Creating the tribes we were talking about earlier.
I have some subtext going on here.
I'm sure it's just tiredness. It's fun. So it didn't. There started to be some cracks, shall we say. So there were some questionable financial practices, some of which were long-term office spaces, which were sublet short-term, which meant they had a massive cash flow mismatch because obviously they had a long-term rent, but they were short-term letting them and then having to re-let them, leading to periods of emptiness.
So this is like rent to rent that you get in holiday accommodation.
Yeah. And there was also some where they were owning the leases themselves and leasing them back to themselves,
right? Which
is obviously almost money laundering. I'm not really sure how that works, but it's not great. So in the first half... That's
fuddling the figures.
It is a bit. In the first half of 2019, they reported a net loss of $904 million.
Oh my God.
On $1.54 billion in revenue. Yeah, so there's obviously some financial questionable things if you're losing that much money on that much revenue.
And the difference between a million and a billion?
Zeros.
Yeah, but in seconds. A million seconds is 12 days.
Yes.
A billion seconds is 34 years.
That is quite the fact.
So put it in dollars terms, yes, that is a huge distance.
That is a huge... I don't know how they spent that much money. So obviously, there was a load of uncertainty around 2019. There was the Brexit uncertainty and stuff like that, and it started creating... Financially, it created a very unstable environment. There was also some leadership controversies, because Adam Neumann had... Obviously, he was one of the ones that owned the property and leased them back to himself. But there was also alleged erratic behaviour. So even though his title was CEO, he was called the partier-in-chief.
The what?
The partier-in-chief. They actually spelt it with a Y, which is even weirder. The partier-in-chief. And he did a lot of things like transporting marijuana intentionally on his private jets. They were just like these massive party jets. Yeah, well, obviously money Corrupt, absolutely. And he also had outsized voting power. So when he set it up so that all of his shares had 20 votes per share, whereas standard shareholders would only have 1 vote per share, which meant that no one could ever outvote him because he always had a majority.
How is that even legal rather? Obviously not illegal. But...
It's a little bit of a grey area. So it's not illegal, especially in tech startups.
Basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in tech startups, it's quite normal because you want to retain ownership of your thing, but at the same time, you need the money inputted from shareholders. But it becomes a bit of a grey area, especially if you're mismanaging it and nobody can fight it because you've got so much of a majority. So it's a really funny sort of... Basically, he had excessive influence over the company, and he wasn't a great person to start with.
Oh, right.
So... definitely not the right person.
I have not heard this story.
Oh.
No.
It's not really a horror story so much as just a story. I just quite like it. So
what's boggling is how it could get to that level, how it could get to that
well, the thing is,
valuation.
I think they rose a wave up.
Yeah.
But the mismanagement was such that when they were on the upper crest, instead of finding ways to diversify or, alter their model or, solidify their product offering, it just collapsed.
Ooh,
so they got to the top and fell off the wave.
A bit like a Ponzi scheme. Almost.
A bit like a Ponzi scheme. I'm obsessed with those today. So in 2019, WeWork filed for an IPO, which is obviously revealing slightly deeper financial issues than one year of loss. And investor skepticism led to the IPO's withdrawal, and then Neumann had to resign. So from a valuation of $45 billion, it was then revalued at around $10 billion in a matter of months, which is massive loss. They ended up filing for bankruptcy in 2023, so they kind of dragged it out through Chapter 11, with locations being sold off and that kind of stuff. But it was just really interesting that, I think it's really interesting that someone found this thing and think, yes, that is a niche. To go that level of insane growth and then to just lose it all. So post-bankruptcy, WeWork aimed to streamline the operations and focus on profitability because it was Chapter 11. They could keep trading, essentially.
Yeah.
In the UK, they made efforts to stabilise existing locations, rebuild trust. But let's be honest, it wasn't easy to do because they were so far down the line.
Meanwhile, other competitors entered the market.
Yeah, 100%, because they saw how successful it was, but how not to do it. In early 2024, Neumann expressed interest in buying back WeWork, but weirdly, the offer was declined. Thank you, but no, go away. And it highlights, and I think it highlights, the importance of sustainable business models. Just because you've got a good idea, and because it goes really, really well for the first year, 2 years, 9 years in this case, doesn't mean that's sustainable. It just means that you're very, very lucky right now with the current environment, with the current circumstances, with the current everything. If you do not put everything in place underneath that, you haven't got hope and help.
But interesting, 9 years though, because 9 years is way beyond the risk area, the risk period of a business. So something must have gone wrong.
It's difficult. It's not explicit.
Was it wrong at the beginning?
I think it was wrong at the beginning. I don't think it was ever right, but I think the wrongness was overshadowed by the revenue. Because it was a growth market and because they were the only ones doing it at first, I think the sheer amount of cash coming into the business was able to outweigh or hide problems that existed within it. So his marijuana jetting and partying.
Yeah.
And I think sustainability, as in not ethical or environmental sustainability, but sustainability as a business model, sustainability as an idea, and sustainability as a practice, it's important from day one. It shouldn't ever be something you cobble together halfway through or retrofit to the system.
Yeah.
You should already be thinking, this great idea is great today. How do we keep this going? How do we
maintain that greatness?
Yeah, how do we
How
keep
do we put
growth?
as much different distance between us and our competition?
I mean, financial mismanagement doesn't even be able to cover that difference between the revenue in the billions and the losses.
And the losses of 900 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's hubris in there going on as well.
Oh, 100%. And the fact that he thought he could buy it back would imply to me he is, in fact, a bit of a narcissist.
Yeah, but he had enough skin still available to go and reinvest it.
Well, God knows what that would have been valued at that point. I don't imagine it was anything near.
Sure.
And what I couldn't find was if he got a payout when he did leave, because he left, inverted commas.
Maybe he had enough cocaine left over just to go and liquidise.
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
He liquidised his leaf. It's one of those things. It's a shorter episode today because it's just one of those things. It's my big red flag. When you build a business for tomorrow. You don't build it for today. Because if all you focus on today is you'll get to that peak of sales and it'll drop off. I mean, I did it to a degree. I did the same thing. I built my business on reputation and word of mouth, which has been incredibly amazing for where I am right now. But when it got to the point where I thought, right, I want to generate additional leads for, passive income or course revenue, I didn't have that audience ready because I hadn't needed to build it at any point. And I think that's, for me, an example of my own. There wasn't hubris. I think it was short-sightedness. I was involved. I was day to day.
Did that mean that you were taking your eye off the main journey and diverting your attention to the new parts of the business? Is that what was happening?
No, I don't think so. I think it just meant I was then spread out over a few more things instead of having this pool of people who were already inside my world and were willing to listen to me or were invested in what I was saying. I've had to build that pool from scratch. And building an audience in 2025 is very different to building an audience back when I started in 2015. So it's something that I've realised in my business I didn't do from day one. I didn't future-proof from day one. But then you live and learn. You don't know what you don't know. If I started a business again tomorrow.
Well, it just makes you wonder about the flags that occurred along the way with
and there must have been flags.
So was financial reporting not going on all the way through there?
Well, they had shareholders. They were a registered company, so there would have been annual reporting. So I don't know how much the figures were massaged, or if again the revenue overtook the losses to the degree where you could say, well, it's an investment phase. It's going to cost more this year because
post Enron, of course.
Yes.
And the other banks that went. Oh God, what were they? The other big ones. But post that, you would think more scrutiny would occur.
You'd think so,
but then again, growing market, new opportunity.
And again, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what this industry is going to be like. You don't know what good practice looks like. You don't know what bad practice looks like. Leasing back to yourself, that's wooden dollars. You shouldn't be doing that.
So did the company survive? Is it still going?
No.
Okay.
Long story short, no. No, it doesn't. No. But I'm not really surprised. That was a really short story, even shorter. But yeah, it doesn't. And I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm not surprised at all.
Interesting further reading on that. Right, great.
Oh, there's another one you can read. But that's a shorter one for people with short attention spans.
Thank you very much. I'm sure there are a few.
Thank you.
Great little story. Thank you. Thanks for supporting us by downloading and listening to this episode.
And a massive thank you also to Donnie, Emily, Nat and Lewis and the BTD Studios for all your expertise in bringing our podcasting dream to reality.
We'd love it if you commented on this episode, as we'd really like to know what you think and what you might like us to cover in future episodes.
And we'll see you on the next one.